A faithful decision. I'm going over my poem line by line to see where I can improve. I tend to throw out the baby with the bathwater editing-wise, so I'm forcing myself to be critical, but not overly so. On a funny end, and rereading it, I realized that with Richard III, he's the fellow my grandma wants me to marry on account of he's so holy and is going to be a doctor. He calls me his muse, and I think of him as an editor, as he is very good at tearing my work all to pieces. So if I had to marry him, which I have no intention of doing even though he is my best friend, I would make him rich, as I would be his inspiration, but I'd be depressed because he would suck all the joy out of me, since I would be constantly reminded that he married beneath him. The third is trying for a double doctrine, to be a medical doc and a business guru, so my lack of ambition is a bone of contention. He knew what his major was going to be at age of 9. Well, I'm still making lists of things I might be. I told him that my English teacher says one day I might have a book of poetry in me, and the third said, what is the point of a book if you can't make money from it? Sometimes art is for art's sakes, but since he wants to be a doctor, this godlike wisdom will work well for him. Me going into a bookstore is like sending a recovering drinker to a bar. I get tipsy, although I do try to limit myself. So many books I have a hard time choosing. Kill a Mockingbird was one of the first books I loved. It has such balance. It shows the dark side with the mob mentality against Tom Robinson. He's an African-American guy that was accused of a crime he didn't do. But it shows Atticus teaching Jim and Scout and Dill, them's the kids in the story, that it's told from their point to you. To stand up what you believe, even if you stand all by your lonesome. Scout thinks that most people are kind in their hearts, when you really see them. It's one of my life models, which goes along with Anne Frank's too. I read her too. And she says, basically, I believe most people are good, which is kind of hard to understand how she come to that conclusion all she gone through. It's funny how some folk can go through so much trying tribulation, like it says in the Bible, and still look at the world all rosy glass-eyed, like Anne Frank's or Scout and her dead Mockingbird, and some folk that ain't seen no more trouble than old lady Sunday's social tea party is all down on the whole of humanity. But I promised Richard III I'd get tough, but it's hard because there's so much beauty about. Maybe some people are put on earth not to be tough. A while ago I gave up dating, in part because I read a book called I Kissed Dating Goodbye. Great title. Dumb book. Also, it was to clear my head and give me time to concentrate on getting into school, SATs, GED, graduation, and get my own doctrine, just like my friend the third. I told my best friend the third that he said I am too stupid to date, so wait longer. After his paranoid speech of date, rape, drugs in every drink and evil around every corner, I've been very clear. I'll hang out, but that's it. I even went a while trying not to smile, but I failed. The non-dating has gone much badly more so than the dating. The worst incident was recently, which is what I'm getting at. At the back of all my poetry is my friend the third. He has lots of advice. When I mess up, he is always there to say, hey, you really messed up. I sent in my entry 500 words or less, and I forgot about it. I was shocked when I received a letter back saying I needed to come down to New Orleans for this award dinner and to see which place I won. Richard is in Louisiana, so I figured I could meet him there and the two of us could pick up my prize together, seeing how it was really his prize since it was mostly about him.